Okay, so actually I should not be here, but Christoph Dietzel, who is a co-worker of mine, and Christoph is in the research team, and this basically is a high-level presentation of a study which was presented, or research paper presented at the ACM Internet Measurement System last year. So we all know DDoS, and it happens, and we have seen DDoS with large volume traffics. We all remember the DDoS attack on Cripson Security. It already has been 1.5 years ago in September 2016, and traffic grows more and more. So what this paper did is, we all know BGP for announcing reachability information, but there has only been little research on how to use BGP to restrict reachability information. And this basically is what we know as blackholing. In the simple situation, blackholing is provided by your upstream provider via a set of communities or via a community. If one of your prefixes is attacked, you simply tag it with the black hole community, announce this more specific to your upstream, and then your upstream already drops traffic for this prefix at his border ingress, so that the traffic does not even reach your network. The same goes for blackholing at an IXP. It's a little bit more complicated. You typically do not have to announce the black hole or prefix to be black hole to everyone, but to the route server, and then all the participants are able to pick it up. So what was research goal of the paper? To see how the blackholing is adopted internet-wide, to see what are the targets for used blackholing, the blackholing best practices, and the network efficacy. This is again what the researchers did. They analyzed and digged through a massive amount of BGP announcements and looked at different vantage points. And what you can see is how BGP announcement with black hole community, and meanwhile there's a standardized black hole community 666, but there are every internet service provider may still use different communities to announce this, how this might propagate through different routers. So routers are aware of it, might then drop. Do I have a pointer? I guess I don't have. You see, for example, ASP2 gets an announcement from prefix B2 with a community ASP2 666. It evaluates this community and then simply drops the traffic. Whereas ASP in the right, right bottom corner does not recognize the community and then simply propagates the prefix to the collector. By this, what the researchers found out, they took data from different collectors, both publicly available via root service, collectors and so on, but also from a large CDN. What they were able to detect is that the number of blackholing providers, that are those ISPs which offer to their customers the community or the ability, the feature to black hole prefixes, increased by 100%, whereas at the same time, the number of transit ASs only increased by 80%. The number of black hole users increased by 600%, and we see an increase in number of prefixes by 10 times, from 485 to well over 4,500, and see roughly 160,000 unique prefixes. On the most right table, you see events, black hole prefixes, and maybe not visible. There is A, which was an attack on the Russian government with a really big spike, then the attack on Olympic Games in Brazil, and also on curbs on security, marked as E. When we look at where the providers are, which are offering black holing services, they are mostly in the US, Russia, Central Europe. We see out of 180 ASs, a lot of the 242 transit access providers, and roughly 10% of the IXPs also offer these feature. Same for black hosing users, almost the same pattern. If we look into more detail to the black hole services, this is not surprisingly HTTP, mostly roughly more than 50%, HTTPS, SSH, FTP. Then what they also did is they looked how far the black hole prefix is propagating. With no path, they were not able to detect the AS in the announced AS path. 0 means that it was announced at an internet exchange point, 1 hop away, 2, and so on, and so on. Next is if we look at the duration of a black holing event. So what they did is the blue dotted line is what they called ungrouped durations. They simply looked how long black hole prefix was announced, and then what they also did is grouped. By grouped, you have to look into the paper. What they did, they looked, or they tried to aggregate it a little bit and to see what happens. And you see the huge difference, and the huge difference comes from that when you get attacked, you do not know when it stops. So what do you have to do? Because when you get attacked, of course, there is a service behind it, and you want only to black hole the prefix as short as possible. So what you do is you probe. You announce the black holing, and then you withdraw, see you are still attacked. If so, you re-announce, and so on and so on. And that what is you are seeing, that if you do not group, it's a high amount, but if you start to group, that means if you then you see that the duration is way longer. So the conclusion is, they say this is the first internet-wide study on black holing. They see that black holing in the interval, they looked at it, significantly increased, maybe to cyber attack, maybe also that people take more care of security and services. They also see a rise in the number of black holing users and prefixes, but limited geographical spread. This might be to the circumstance where the traffic is. And perhaps there is also, besides black holing, where you completely drop traffic for a prefix, a need for more fine-grained black holing. And if you want to read more of it, the detailed paper appeared, as said, in the ACM Internet Measurement Conference. And if you really want an in-depth explanation and have in-depth question, ask one of the researchers, please. And that's for me. Thank you.
We have time for just maybe one
question.
Yeah,
sure. Rüdiger Volk, Deutsche Telekom. I'm always amazed by when blackholing requests are discussed and no mention about the authorization used for that is made. And I wonder whether the research actually looked at that. If they were actually just measuring and looking what happens in the network, obviously the authorization is not expected to be visible. On the other hand, also, if an increased application of a technique is observed, of course, a careful observer would ask, well, okay, if the increase is there, is it all authorized?
I guess you also, you already answered your question, Rüdiger.
Thank you very much.